Hello and welcome to another interview with the Aussie online entrepreneurs, and this interview is an absolute cracker. I've got Mary Minchin, who's been in the Aussie online entrepreneurs for I think 6 months, something like that. Started out as a single mum with 4 kids. One day decided that she was gonna go for it and do something and support her family, and got herself set up with her own online business and is now making thousands of dollars each and every month. As you will see, she is extremely passionate about helping other people become free online through their own e-commerce businesses as well. Plus, in this interview, she gives some great tips about how to get started, what to do if you've got people telling you that you just can't do it, it's all too difficult. And as Mary says at the very, very end, it's easy once you know how. So, enjoy this interview. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to find out more about Mary and about the other Aussie online entrepreneurs, be sure to look in the description below for a link to the Aussie online entrepreneurs. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the interview, and I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye. So what's your background then? Like, give me kind of like what's your actual background?
Well, I'm studying science and education. So before that, I was a stay-at-home mum. So basically, I got divorced.
Yes.
And went straight into studying chemistry and biology and maths, and then sort of fell into the medical cannabis side of things and wrote a book. So.
And when you say you fell into it, there must have been some, like, you must have been looking at it going, okay, well, this is an interesting area of science, the evidence is compelling, etc.
Yeah, the way I fell into it was because my other half, Adam, he works for a huge hydroponics wholesalers and manufacturer, and they were starting to import cannabidiol, and they wanted some scientific papers or something that shows how cannabidiol works, but they wanted the science side of it. So they asked me to research it, and because I had access to all the cited peer-reviewed studies through my university, I started to research it for them. And then and the more I read, I'm thinking, what these guys are finding is unbelievable, and it's not. It's just being hidden. It's just being pushed to the side.
Yes.
So I said to Adam, someone needs to write something to bridge the gap from hippieville to science.
Yes.
So people can, because I come from a family of doctors, and they're all like, poof, witches. But I'm looking at these scientists and what they're finding. But the everyday person can't go and read these studies because they're too, they're so complex. So I said to him, someone needs to write even a pamphlet, and he said, well, you do it. And so it started off just being a little pamphlet, but the more I read, the more I realised how it affects so many different illnesses and how many different parts of your body. It ended up being, and it's not a very big book. I mean, it's only little.
Still, what's it called? Show us the cover. CBD Made Easy, Medical Cannabis Part 1. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And so it just lists 34 different ailments and how I've bridged the science. So I show in the book how it works and what it does in your body. So people can give it to their doctors and say, well, and then I've got all the studies referenced at the back. So people can actually look up the science.
Yes.
And I've just had it endorsed by a group of doctors in Sydney.
Have you? That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, they love the science behind it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And whereabouts in Australia, whereabouts is the law at with regards to that then?
Different states have different laws. Some states you're able to get it through your GP.
Mm-hmm.
Other states, it has to be a specialist, like an oncologist. And other states, not available at all.
Yes.
But basically, it has to be prescribed through your doctor legally. But the paperwork is incredible. It's so much red tape.
Is it really? It's just nuts.
Well, my sister's a doctor, and she I mean, she's a huge advocate for, but for her to prescribe to just one patient is hours of work for her.
Wow.
It's just really, really frustrating. And yet, if people can get hold of the cannabidiol, the results that they see are incredible. Like, it's seriously incredible. I'm starting to document stories of people, and the trouble is they're just stories. They're not scientific at all, but at least there's some kind of documentation of. I mean, another sister of mine, she's got rheumatoid arthritis. She's had it since she was 19, and she went to a rheumatologist a few days ago, and her bloods are fantastic, and she's gone off half of her pain relief and medication. She's taking 2 drops of CBD a day.
Is that it? That's just incredible. Yeah, and so right now what you've got is I'd imagine what they call anecdotal evidence. You've got these great stories from people, but there's because there hasn't been that traditional rigorous scientific study. Yeah. It's all anecdotal.
Yeah, it's all anecdotal. And we need human trials, but and they've started doing them over in America and especially Israel on cancer and epilepsy, of course, and post-traumatic stress and things like that. And they're all having fantastic results. But, the powers that be, big pharma.
Yes, big pharma.
Big pharma. Very hard to fight the big pharma.
Absolutely. They got a lot of money behind them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of power. And, people over in other countries have tried to fight big pharma and, it hasn't, so it hasn't turned out too well for them. So,
and so you've obviously researched in other countries with regards to their laws around this as well. Which countries have got the most progressive laws?
Oh, I would think Israel at the moment. Yeah. They're amazing. They're incredible. I mean, they were doing studies on children with chemotherapy in the 80s with CBD and THC, and they did a double-blind placebo trial with a group of children, and the doctors in charge of the trial put a stop to it because they felt it was morally wrong because the kids that were having the medical cannabis were improving so much. They were out of the world improving. So morally, they said we can't go on because you've got these kids who are, getting thinner and vomiting all the time, and then there's kids who were sick and they were putting on weight and they were looking healthy. Because usually with a double-blind trial, if you have like a 1 to 3%, difference, that's
a big statistical difference.
Yeah, but with these kids, it was so like it just went off the chart. And all this is documented evidence. It's even online for everybody to see. The guy who ran that trial was actually the man who discovered the compound of CBD and THC, and he discovered that back in the 60s. So he's from Israel, so he's really, really advanced, and so they are. But it's just getting everybody else to listen. Just constant frustration.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, especially when you're seeing so many people get helped by it, but you're also seeing the laws in Australia restricting you from actually, anyway.
and so I'm gonna kind of bring this to e-commerce in a second, but I find this fascinating because it looks like you are on this sort of personal mission to change the industry and bring this to the attention of people. Is that pretty accurate for me to say?
Well, it's becoming that way simply because it certainly didn't start that way, but simply because I get phone calls every day from people. I've had people turn up at my door just to meet me and thank me. So because it's changed their life, it's really humbling. It's really quite. And I had no idea that this would happen. All I thought was this needs to be written in easy to read layman's terms so people can understand what they're reading. But yeah, it's become a lot bigger than me, just my own little journey.
Yes.
I mean, even today I got a phone call from a guy. His mother-in-law, her tumour count's gone down 70-80%. His friend, who's a pharmacist, she's been taking CBD oil. Her tumour count has reduced by half. And the doctors
incredible.
doctors are, what are you doing? And so, but I do know there are a lot of doctors who are starting to study people now.
Yeah.
They're starting to sit up and say, wow, this is making a huge difference in your life, in your illness.
So there's a real groundswell happening. That's great. And how many copies of your book have you sold?
I'm on my third print run, so about 3,000 copies, I think.
That's great. And all within Australia?
No, a lot of my customers are from America, England, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Get quite a few sales over in Amsterdam, mainly England and America at the moment. I've just had it translated into Spanish.
Have you?
So we're going and we've just had it translated into Chinese. So we'll see what happens there.
Oh my
it's just
goodness.
Trying to China's market. I'm not sure. I have to find someone who can speak Chinese who can actually put it on their Chinese Amazon or something. So
to sell the products or to sell the book?
To sell the book. Yeah, I can't sell any products.
Yeah,
it's legal.
It's illegal, absolutely. Okay, cool. And well, with that then, so what's your interest in e-commerce then related to that?
Well, I think the reason that it really interested me was because I find this area so frustrating. I don't feel like you can move ahead. It could be 10, 15 years. But what I've done, the basics of what I've done is I've produced a product and I'm selling it and I'm making money.
Yeah.
And I wake up in the morning and I have 300 orders. I've just made money. Or, so I just thought, wow, if I can do that with one thing, maybe I can do it with something else.
Yes.
It's an amazing feeling to wake up and look in your inbox and, while you've been asleep, people have clicked on your link and bought your product. So, it's just like, wow, I didn't have to drive to work and I didn't have to, because I worked as a pharmacy assistant for a while and, about $25 an hour.
Yeah, sure.
And it's, yeah. And it's a long day on your feet. And I wake up in the morning and I've made, 6 times that just by going to sleep. So I thought, if I can do it with one product, I suddenly saw the potential.
Oh, no doubt. And so you said that your partner, Adam, is it your husband or your partner?
He's my partner.
Your partner, Adam. He's in the hydroponic industry, importing hydroponics into Australia?
He has his own brand as well. So he's a bit of an entrepreneur. He developed his own filter brand, I think, 15, 20 years ago maybe.
Yeah. So
he's got that business as well, which is worldwide. He's got 2 business partners that he works with, but he also works as the top salesman for Australia's largest manufacturing and wholesaling hydroponics business, and they sell to retail stores.
Do they?
So he's basically selling his own. They buy his product and then he sells his. So he's sort of double dipping with his own product, which is great.
Very good. Absolutely smart man.
Yeah, and with his job, he gets to work from home and we travel all the time. So it's a great job.
You travel a lot, you too?
Yeah, we're always travelling.
Give me some examples.
Not so much overseas. Adam sort of did that all before I met him, but all around Australia. We've been, we just came back from Queensland. We were in Perth a few weeks ago. We're about to head to Hobart. We're going to Melbourne after that. We're always in Sydney. We're going to Newcastle on Monday. So we're always. I've learned to be really, really good at packing.
Yes, you get very adept at it very quickly, don't you? Packing lightly.
Packing lightly, yeah.
So is it the intention then to bring some of those products onto Amazon? Is that kind of where you're heading?
Yeah. That's definitely where we're heading. Yeah. They're already doing it in the States.
Yeah.
So, and it seems to be pretty successful. I think a lot of the shops are already selling the products on eBay.
Yes.
So I think as an industry they have to go online.
Yeah.
And yeah. So we're talking. We're pretty sure that we'll be doing that pretty soon.
That's exciting times, especially with Australian Amazon opening. That must be giving everybody at the factory pause for thought about the way forward.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We haven't gone into too much depth with them yet because the owner of the business had to shoot off to Singapore for a while. So, but we'll be meeting with him in Hobart.
Okay.
So
good.
that's interesting. So yeah.
I love the more I speak to e-commerce entrepreneurs, the more I love how much freedom that we have as people to kind of do this traveling and to move around and things like that. What are some of the things that you found personally rewarding about that e-commerce sort of lifestyle?
Oh, it's the freedom. It's the, we live in Adelaide and our house overlooks Linear Park and you can see the city, and I can get up in the morning and have a coffee or go to the gym if I want to, or I can go to the gym in the afternoon.
Nice.
And, I can sit there and look at the view and work from home. And I love the idea of like when I did your the consulting course, which I'm still, I've finished the course, but I'm still going over it. Sure. I love the idea of helping people do this and helping people while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's the ultimate dream for me to help people and to do it yourself and and meet people and have that lifestyle of choices.
Yeah.
It's great.
Do you see a lot of opportunity in that in within Australia for helping people get online? Do you see that that's a big opportunity?
I think it's a huge opportunity. Every shop I go into, I look at their products and I think, wow, that could actually really sell online. This is the one thing I have to do next week is get a business card made up, because I just want to say to people, you've got great products, because Australians, they all know about eBay, but it's eBay's almost got a tainted reputation. I don't know if I should say that. But
no, it's all good. You're amongst friends. What when you say that, what do you mean? Like, talk me through it.
I feel like Amazon's got the got a much cleaner, crisper, because on eBay it seems like you could sell anything and it's not so regulated.
Sure, I understand what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, but when you look at Amazon products, it seems to be a crisper, cleaner. I can't quite describe it. I just get that feeling. So I think when Amazon takes off, because people don't even, you talk to someone about Amazon, it's like, oh, they've never even looked at shopping on Amazon or.
Yes.
So I think once people get the idea that it's going to happen, I think it's going to go nuts.
I think so
people
too.
are going to love it.
Yeah, I think so too. So what do you see as the big opportunities on Amazon? Clearly you've got your ideas, you've got your ideas around what you want to sell, but what other opportunities do you see?
Well, I suppose I see, obviously I see manufacturers or wholesalers selling their own products online.
Yes.
But also I see a huge opportunity for being an e-commerce consultant.
Yes.
So helping people do that. Because when you do talk to people about putting products online, it's a lot more. They just think, oh, you just whack it on there and you sell it, but it's so much more complicated. And to have someone who knows with your course, who knows where to go from point A to point B to point C and how to do it properly, I think helping people and taking people by the hand will be an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, getting your own brand and going into your own niche.
Yeah. I agree totally. And now that you've sold some things online and you've kind of begun your e-commerce journey and had some success with that as well, and kudos to you for that. What do you wish you would have known, say, 3 years back when you first got started? What do you wish you would have known about selling online?
I wish I'd known how bloody easy it was. I had no idea. I had no idea how it's Well, and like I just said, it is complex to a point, but it's also so simple. The whole idea of it is just so simple. And if you get someone who can show you how to do it, it's just simple. It's not rocket science. And you need to just start.
Yeah.
Like, you need to just start. And what I found with writing my book, I don't think I would have ever done it if I didn't have a kick up the bum from my other half.
Sure.
He said, just do it. And I tend to want all the information and to sit back and make sure I know everything before I start anything. He just goes, well, just start. And I think that's one thing that I've learned from him. You just have to do something, and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
You just start. And if you make mistakes, woohoo, you're on the journey.
That's right. Yeah, that's well said. I like that. And so give me an example of something that you've done successfully and something that was a kind of bit of a bodge up for you.
With e-commerce
With
stuff?
e-commerce, yeah.
Well, obviously my book has been gone nuts with success.
Yes.
And with, I suppose I haven't actually really got any bodgy stories yet.
Have you not? Well, that's great. That's awesome.
I really haven't. Unless these people that we've contacted turn around and say no, but so far we're just putting one foot in front of the other, and I mean, I suppose the only bodgy thing is people look at you sideways and say, everybody's doing that, or that'll never work in Australia.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you find that, do you, that you get people saying, it's too competitive, that'll never work? Yeah.
But I would have thought the same thing about writing a book. Everybody's got a book. Right?
So then what do you think to yourself when you hear that now? What do you kind of, because I'd imagine there's a lot of people who'll watch this and go, well, I've got my family telling me that it's too competitive, that it'll never work. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I suppose I would say to them, just start, just have a go. Because if you don't start, it's not going to work. And it doesn't matter. I think I've come to the conclusion too. Even if you pick, and I'm sort of copying you here. Even if you pick a product that's not going to be a bestseller, it's okay, because then you can just pick another one. But right. Just starting and learning the process, learning how to do it, all that's going to happen is you're going to just get experience, you're going to get a little bit better, and if you make a stuff up, excellent, it just means you won't have to make it again. So it's just take one foot and seriously, if you're going to listen to the haters, then you'll never get anywhere.
So true.
So true. Like, why bother?
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
All right.
I've heard that in all areas of my life. Even when I left, when my husband and I split up, and I was in my late 30s, and I had 4 kids, and I'd never worked, and I had no. Yeah, and it's so, and I was, I didn't have any money, I didn't have a house, and I failed maths in year 8. And I went back and I aced my maths, I aced my chemistry. You've just got to think, you know what, I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's just life. That's just life. You learn that stuff in life.
I couldn't agree more. And that's a very, very inspiring story, by the way, to have 4 children who you've got to look after and you're responsible for. And I really understand that as a parent myself. I really understand that. To become divorced and become a single mum, and then to kind of pick yourself up and go, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for it, I think is ballsy as all hell. I really, really do. So kudos to you for that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, I want to say a huge thank you for joining me today and for sharing your story. It has been absolutely my pleasure, and I'm very, very inspired, I've got to tell you, not only because you've got this great story, but because I also feel that you're on this sort of mission for yourself. It really comes across in the way you talk and how passionate you are about that. And the thought that you can impact so many people's lives by doing what you do, I personally find that really, really inspiring. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity.